Hi, people. So I'm taking a break. I would like to say a break from my chores right now to record this. And I am putting this in part of my daily list, my playlist that I started on the daily. So it might include all sorts of random talking. I will definitely try to stay on task, but it will include just, all kinds of random things, um, including this comment about yard work. So I think uh, owning a house is overrated. Uh, but it's much like relationships that we weren't told the level of maintenance that some of them require. And we have an acre that right now looks like shit. And so we're deciding what we want to do with it currently. That, of course, is going to involve money, but maybe putting a little track back there for four wheeling and dirt bikes. But anyway, I was doing some annoying, well, actually, I like mowing. I was doing something else. Anyway, that was making me sweat my ass off. Okay. So I could go off on a tangent though and talking about the whole house thing. And okay, but I'm not. So today, there's always something to talk about. I've said this before. I'm a documentarian of life. I'm always observing um, different things. And I had to take a break basically and start talking because this is also part of my therapy. So when I don't get to write, the talking just can be, a huge part of replacing that because I also don't write very clearly sometimes. So that's kind of stupid. And my mind's moving so fast that I can't even write as fast as my mind is thinking about things. So I reposted something on Facebook today. It is October 16th, from an Instagram reel that I am not big on social. I basically just post things on Facebook and kind of disappear. I used LinkedIn for about 2 years, which I think that is great, that I got into the mainstream, but I don't really use it too much. My Instagram isn't totally developed, and I'm already on my phone enough just researching guests and looking up random things as if, I don't know enough in life, because I'm not going to learn everything. So that's as far as that goes on there. But so, yes, I do check obviously everyday things. So there was a reel on there, a post. I think his name is Danny Garcia. I'm sorry that if I don't remember the name, because I was going to go back and look at his boxing skills. And basically, the title of it was 99% of men, like it said, the reality of mental health, and it said 99% of men inside, and it basically showed him being vulnerable and crying about spending a year in states of depression, over common things in our everyday lives. And he said two things: anxiety, and he also said being a good dad and pressures of being a boxer. So why I want to talk about this today, I don't think I need to go on about it in length, is that I'm always posting things about how beautiful and magnificent it is when men reveal themselves, because again, culturally, it has always been frowned upon, as being something considered weak. And it will probably still continue. It's 2023 into people thinking like that. But a lot of the younger kids are evolved. And I'm speaking most of my audience, I'm going to say younger. Okay. So beginning at the life journey, maybe 18 or 19, but it could be all the way, up until 40s. But I'm going to say, speaking from that, to that audience, to you, if you're listening to this, that I think you understand that the older generation, like, that is like this, right? The man up, don't be a pussy, that kind of a attitude. I feel like, or I hope that it's a little bit phasing out, because the younger people, you are more open to sharing feelings. And definitely social media has allowed a place that is a place that people can share, just like this, right? Because this is kind of like a diary, for me as well. And so that's why I wanted to talk about there, is that I thought it was a beautiful thing. I had to share it. I want to share it more. But also, with that being said, is that I think so. Say people, men, are vulnerable, allow themselves to be vulnerable, and it comes to a mental health concern. I want you to know, as also with that, is that even when you have these low points, even whatever it is, and maybe you share it with somebody, this is not always something to medicate. Now, I don't want to say don't medicate. I support Eastern and Western methods. I do believe the body knows how to heal itself. It's a whole nother can of worms to talk about mental illness. And when I want to talk about energy medicine and things like that, I don't have enough experience that I say, okay, these people have worked, they had mentally ill conditions and they used flower essences, while I've heard that they work. Use flower essences and they work. Don't use medication. Okay. I'm not saying that. I am just saying that if you were to go assessed, they're going to ask you a bunch of questions on a list to be able to diagnose or assess you as, okay, you have depression, or you have this and this and this. Okay. And after they assess you, it's just important to know that there's so many alternatives out there aside from taking medication. Okay. And so that's a part of that, is that if you want to share what is something that could be a mental health concern, don't think like, oh, now I have to take medication or whatever it is. There are many things out there and options. Okay. And then another beautiful thing that he said when I finished watching the whole clip is that love was the key from his dad, from his father, that was, helped him through that. And I do believe love is the answer for a lot of life's problems. And so emotional states, they can fluctuate up and down, including happiness. I always like to say, when I finally realized not only that it's fleeting, but happiness is not a final destination. Okay, it's not somewhere you go from here to there and now I'm done. Okay, now I'm happy. No, because there's so many different things in life that happen that are going to affect our states of being. Okay, I know that was deep and really intense. We can move on. Okay, so please be comfortable with sharing yourself, because I don't know too if men feel like, whether it's being vulnerable, you are around, if you're male listening to this, around women, like people are going to make fun of you or judge you or whatever. I don't want you to feel like that either, because there's people like me that feel are people like me who feel that that is kick-ass. And when you can show me that other side of you and being a human being, it's a beautiful thing. Okay, I'm sure I'm not the only one, but there might not be other people that appreciate it as much as I do. And I've always realized that since I was younger, in culture, like, thought that was dumb. There were just so many things as a teenager, if you know any bits of my story, that I just thought were dumb. They didn't make sense. There were things in culture like I just didn't get. It's the same thing that I'll probably never really understand. Um, Okay, I've kind of explained this before. Some people come into this life, like, I guess if you want to say old soul, no matter what you believe, they just have information or they know things already. Okay, whatever you want to believe about past lives. Then there's people that really just don't know very much, right? You don't know why you're here. You maybe don't pay attention to these things around you and how you were raised, and so you live life according to this way, right? So you maybe are, it's not to say a follower, but it's just the large masses of mainstream that kind of just follow what the crowd is doing. Okay. And so I was always the black sheep, always. Okay. So, like, as far back as I can remember, maybe 14. Okay. That's the key number. And then the 12 years old age with those sorts of wanting to run away and die issues. Okay. But those are two different things. Okay. So you could say maybe I felt like a black sheep then. Um, so where was I going with this? As far as people learning earlier in the journey, everybody is learning at their different stages. Okay, now I'm losing my train of thought. We were talking about mental health and culture. That's what we were talking about, culture, and being vulnerable. So skipping to the next thing, Okay, next topic is that these are not intended to be recorded every day. I just called it the daily, right? So I would talk about maybe all sorts of random things that were unscripted. So, you know what happened to me the other day? Okay, so I tried to do something unscripted and I recorded it, I think, twice, and then I'm going to trash it because I didn't, as a result of not typing out, it wasn't a simple subject again to talk about. So, all that I wanted to say in these little, because I kind of wanted to make these little recordings short so that because there's always so much material I talk about, we don't get too confused and that you can soak up the information. So hopefully the plan is for these is less than 15 minutes so that you know when you always listen to these, you can just get little tidbits. Okay, so I tried to record again the other day, trashed those episodes because basically some that I was talking to, we have many conversations. I'm not going to disclose ever names or anything like that of who I'm talking to about these stories, but it provides. So when I tried to do that, basically I ended up spending another 30 minutes on another day typing up a lot of stuff that just sucked my energy. And, but it's still, so I'm warning you here. I still think I'm going to put it out because it would be very helpful to people. Okay, so it was regarding, we were talking about her longtime husband and narcissistic personality disorder, which he also has some psychopathic, meaning capable of killing type of traits. I know that sounds scary, but the point of why I wanted to go deeper into doing a solo on this is that not only that is very prevalent more than we think, that specific narcissism, which I never knew, and the abuse from it. Okay, so knowing about personality disorders early in life, I wish I had because I can reference about two family members and then also a friend. And when I say these are real and exist, it's confusing because the person can appear, if you want to say normal, right? You can have just regular conversation with them, and then they will do something that doesn't make sense, right? And it can vary from moment to moment. And basically, what I'm going to talk about in the type up or the solo talking episode is actually the steps that are needed since she's been in denial about it. And she basically, beyond the point of insanity, right? The definition, repeating and repeating, expecting a different result. And so I was basically trying to coach her through this. And then we laughed about it because I said, I wonder how long you're going to stay in the phase of insanity. Um, Helping her recognize that, she's trying so hard to get him. She loves him a lot, right? This is a true love relationship. But sometimes it fulfills its contract, right? You have kids with the person or whatever it is, and then you come into yourself and the confidence and the realizing and all this sort of stuff is not saying that this person with the personality disorder is a bad person. It's just necessarily you don't want to be in a long-term relationship with them, live in or not, association with them. Okay. And so that's all that it means. But she is trying to manage during this time because she's trying to keep her family unit together and till the kids get older situation. And I think, again, these sorts of things will resolve themselves, right? When she works on herself and other things I recommended, which I'm saying in this video pretty much what I'm going to say, but it's going to be in more detail. So basically just helping her become aware of, okay, um, you want him to admit this thing. He is not conscious. Some people with personality disorders are not conscious. I know that doesn't make sense because you think they're purposely doing things, but some of them do not know. Okay. So some know, some do not. Okay. This is one of the most first fascinating disorders to me, which actually my mom had parts of this. And the more you try to make sense of them, the more crazy you become. And yes, it is one of the most confusing. And so trying to rationalize with them is like with a drunk person. Okay, you're just it's kind of is the word futile, like it's not going to go anywhere. I've always wanted to use that word, but I don't know that I used it. appropriately, but basically going nowhere. And so she is, if the person is not consciously aware, on top of that, they're already arrogant, you're going to have a difficult time with this, okay? So she has a difficult time learning that this is truth of this person, okay? What I was also going to say about the narcissist, oh, this is very important to me. So I always knew and had heard of something like to act like a narcissist, right? Or you are being narcissistic, but I had never known there was actually a disorder, and like that you were like this 90% of the time or whatever it is. So I think that's another very intriguing bit of information. So this is very prevalent, and it seems to be that I've found, I don't know the stats on it, that people that usually have this are highly off the chart attractive. And it's funny because I wonder if a huge part of it is also because this is upbringing, different things upbringing. Um, I believe, but I don't know if you can be born with the personality disorder. I think you can, yes, because it can start in the womb. And I get a lot of my information from my psychologist friend who used to work at Folsom Prison. And she also informed me, because I was asking these sorts of things, she confirmed to me you can develop mental illness as an adult, because I've seen that happen with several people, including my mom. So the narcissism, I explained that, and really not knowing what that is. And it's just a whole nother very lengthy discussion. So I'm going to go ahead. Hey, this was only supposed to be 10 minutes. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and 10, 15 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and end this, which just by saying I will be coming out with that. And but yeah, it kind of overwhelmed me, and I wasn't able to cut it short without putting some recommendations in there. But that's what's going on today. I might record even something a little bit later, but just wanted to share that with you, that I tried to attempt to record again the other day, and then I just gave up because it was too much going on in my brain. Okay, so I'll talk to you later, and yeah, see you in the next video. Okay, bye.